Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dave and today we're talking about the Epiphone range that just came out and it's called the Power Rangers. Alright, it's not called the Power Rangers, but it is called the Power Players. And here's the problem. Fender have a series called the Players range. Player series, whatever it's called. So Fender might be talking to their lawyers today, but we'll see what happens. These are aimed at beginners. They are aimed at young people who have smaller hands and are smaller people. So you've got smaller bodies and you've got a Les Paul shape and a SG shape. There are three different colors: lava red, ice blue, and then you got my favorite. You ready? Dark matter ebony. Yeah, they went with dark matter ebony. I don't know why. They could have just gone red, sky blue, and ebony. And people would have been like, cool. Nope, dark matter ebony. All right then. Also, lava red looks nothing like lava. I just want to throw that in there. These guitars, as I said, being pitched as the ultimate beginner's guitar for these younger people. I would have liked to have known that before I bought one this morning. They are going to be aimed, as I said, for those smaller hands. So it'll be interesting to see. It should arrive from Thomann and by the weekend. We'll have a look and see what it's like. I'm particularly interested in checking out these pickups that are in here. We'll talk about those a little bit further on in the video, so stay tuned towards the end for that. But let's tell you about these guitars. As I said, they're a 3/4 plus guitar, or 7/8. The body is a smaller one then. It's the Gibson Les Paul shape. They're actually pointing out Gibson Les Paul shape and SG. So interesting. They say they're ideal learning guitars. They are perfect youth size and easy to play. Those are all kind of bundled. They should all be bundled into one, but that's what they're saying about them. They say they sound better and stay in tune longer. Cool. Don't believe you, but okay, we'll see what happens. One of the interesting things is in the promotional video, Epiphone say that when you buy a beginner's guitar, it's usually not very good. Forgetting that they make a lot of beginner's guitars themselves before this range. So basically saying, yeah, all our other beginner's guitars are shit. Don't buy them, buy these ones. They might have a point because these are made of mahogany bodies. You've got a mahogany neck as well, which is bolted on. You've got a sculpted heel as well there on where they're bolted on. The mahogany neck has got an Indian laurel fretboard on it. 22 medium jumbo frets made of probably the cheapest fret wire they could get their hands on. If you're looking for luxury, you are not going to find it in this guitar. That's why you get a plastic nut, and yeah, don't be looking for anything fancy. Maybe in the pickups, we'll talk about that in a minute. You do have a wrap tail piece, which is a lightning compensated thingy-me-bob, which is all good. I mean, that's an actually pretty decent bridge. I like it. You've got a three-way switch. You've got 2 volumes, 2 tones. The knobs all are kind of nice. They're reflector style knobs. You get some in gold, some in black, depending on the color and model choice you make. These are only available for right-handed guitarists. So if you're left-handed and you want to learn guitar and you want one of these guitars, tough, you can't. They're just not catering for lefties. Don't know why. But the real interesting thing from this guitar comes in the pickups. Now let's talk about those in just a moment. Before we go any further, I want to say thanks to guitartricks.com for sponsoring this video. In the description of this video, you will find a link where you can get a 14-day free trial to guitartricks.com. Some very cool stuff there, whether you're a beginner or an experienced guitar player. You can learn new things, which is always good. Step-by-step lessons will introduce you to some of your favorite songs and how to play them on the guitar, which is, you know, our favorite instrument. Songs like You Shook Me by Led Zeppelin. Or if you're not into that, how about You Shook Me All Night Long, the sequel by AC/DC? No? Well, how about Knocking on Heaven's Door by Guns N' Roses? That's a pretty popular one. If you don't want to knock on heaven's door, you can go with Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. That's another one. You don't like that? You can play Thin Lizzy, you can play Slim Harpo, you can play B.B. King, Eric Clapton, The Doors, Christina Aguilera. They got everybody. If you like music, you like guitars, you want to learn some stuff, hit up that link in the description. It is completely free for 14 days. Check it out, learn some stuff. And if you like it, sign up for longer. Anyway, thanks again to guitartricks.com. Now, these guitars come with what I think is a very interesting hint at the future and something I said was going to happen very recently on the channel. So that's a good reason to hit that subscribe button. You would have known about this happening if you had been subscribed to this channel a while ago. And what I said was Epiphone are going to change the naming of their pickups and they were going to bring them more in line with Gibson. So for example, we had the 490R and the 500T. Those are pickups that go together quite often in the Gibson. Perfect. Well, these pickups in this guitar series are the 650R and the 700T. And they are pointed out that they are authentic Epiphone humbucking pickups. Yeah, Gibson, get yourselves away from that word authentic. It's not doing you any favors, but interestingly, they have gone down that road of taking the Gibson naming template for pickups and bringing it over to Epiphone. I told you this was going to happen, and it's all part of the big overall plan to make Epiphone and Gibson kind of meld into the one thing, where you might have a higher end Epiphone being the price that we currently think of lower end Gibsons being, and beyond that, it's going, as I said, it's going to go up to about 14, maybe more, 1,400 or more dollars for a high end Epiphone. But people like me, especially ones with YouTube channels, go online and bitch about Epiphone humbuckers, pro booking instead of burst booking, and so forth. I know they're called pro bookers and burst bookers. But it is something that we give out about. And the pro bookers themselves are not bad pickups. They're quite good actually. But when you're paying top dollar, you want to have the best that you could get. So when Epiphone do provide burst bookers in some models, it's infuriating when they then provide pro bookers. But if they're doing Epiphone burst bookers or Epiphone 490Ts and Ors and all that sort of stuff, and it's kind of the same names as the Gibsons, they're going to get a lot less backlash from people like me on the internet, which, you know, affects how they feel about themselves at the end of the day. So anyway, that's what Epiphone have brought out today. They do come in a cheap gig bag that no one's ever going to use. Buy a decent case and put your guitar in there if you want. They come with a cheap crap cord that you're never going to use once you figure out how bad it is, and they come with some picks that are going to end up like, I don't know, just thrown away because they're useless. But as a beginner's package aimed specifically at young kids who have small hands and are smaller themselves, these are going to be, I think, very, very popular. And anything that brings people to playing guitar and brings them back time after time to playing guitar and not putting it down and never picking it up again is a good thing. The colors, I think, are interesting enough, they're bright enough, and they, you know, they are good enough and well named enough to bring people in. And if the guitars do play well, then they're going to have a hit on their hands here. I think they could have named them a bit better, and you know, the Power Players guitars, I mean, come on. But anyway, that's what they went with, and that's what they are. I'd love to know what you guys think about this move from Epiphone, particularly on the pickups, because yeah, look, most of the people watching this channel are not beginners at guitar, but they might be interested in a smaller guitar or a smaller scale length. So let me know if you think that's a good move. Let me know what you think of the naming of the pickups. I think it's something we're going to see more of. I think in the higher end models, we're going to see exact replica, or at least replications of names that you already see in Gibsons. Don't be surprised if very soon you actually see an Epiphone burst booker appear on the scene out of nowhere. Anyway guys, thanks for watching today. It's been a super cool video. I'll be back with another guitar related video very soon. Until then, get yourself some free guitar lessons from guitartricks.com, and I'll see you on the next one.